sexual abuse. Okay. Understanding child sexual abuse, grooming, and safeguarding. And I was trying to state our objective. Number one, having a clear understanding of child sexual abuse and its impact on children. Number two, recognize warning signs that may indicate that a child is at risk or experiencing abuse. Thirdly, learning practical ways to prevent abuse. And so we hope today's session equips us in recognizing risk factors, understanding the essence of speaking up, which are enabling factors in creating a childhood free of harm. So I would like to introduce our speaker today in person of Veronica Veshit Gar. She's a child protection officer and founder of Every Child FEC. She has educated over 100 individuals on recognizing, addressing, and presenting child abuse while training close to 30 volunteers. She engages parents both online and on site. Her work focuses on raising awareness, building community capacity, and equipping individuals with practical skills to identify risks, respond appropriately, and protect children. She is passionate about advancing child safety, dignity, and protection at community level. Today, we are so delighted to learn, or we are happy to draw from her well of knowledge. And please, we are inviting our speaker. Please, over to you, Ma. You own the stage. Thank you very much, Ma. Mrs. Veronica Veshnet Ga. Thank you very much, Ma.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. I'm connected all the way from Cameroon. Please, I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, Ma. We are glad to have you here.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, and we are glad to have you on board.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank how it affects our children and the impacts that it causes in our society. So let's first of all start with what is child sexual abuse? Child sexual abuse is any sexual act or behavior involving a child that the child does not fully understand and the child does not consent to, or that violates social and legal boundaries. Normally, children are not supposed to have consent for anything that deals with their body because that's why they are called minors. I saw a comment that they can't hear me. Um,
Please
Hello.
turn off your mic so you can hear clearly, please. If your mic is on, please turn it off. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay. Over to you, Ma. The network is full.
Please, anybody hear me before I begin?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay, please, if you can't hear me, just let me know. So I was saying that child sexual abuse is any sexual act or behavior involving a child that the child does not fully understand, cannot consent to, or that violates social and legal boundaries. And it is one of the most serious forms of child maltreatment, affecting millions of children worldwide across all communities, cultures, and backgrounds. Early awareness and education are essential tools in prevention and protection. So we see that child sexual abuse affects 1 in 4 girls or 1 in 13 boys. And contact or non-contact forms of abuse perpetrated by known individuals on that are reported globally. It's not all the cases that were being reported. It's not all the cases that are being reported. We have some cases that are not reported. It's showing that these are things that still happen on the ground and they are being hidden. That is why we create such platforms like this webinar, which we can educate ourselves so that when things happen like this, we don't keep it and we speak about it. Child sexual abuse occurs a lot.
We can no longer hear you, ma. Think we cannot hear you, ma. Your voice is breaking. We can't hear you. Please, if you're not the speaker, please turn off your mics, please. Turn off your mics, please. Please.
No, carry earpiece.
Please turn off your mics if you're not the speaker for today, please. Miss Shinyere, please, can you turn off your mic, please? Victoria Wogu, please, can you turn off your mic? Thank you very much.
Please, can you hear me? Looks like I was talking wrong.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
we cannot hear you. We cannot hear you, ma.
We are hearing.
I'm so sorry, please. Pardon my connection. Okay. So I was in understanding grooming. And first of all, let's ask ourselves what is grooming. We hear a lot of words about grooming. We hear a lot of words that she's being groomed. Sadly, it's not only children that are being groomed into acts of sexual abuse. Even adults are being groomed. So grooming is a process used by predators to gain the trust of a child and those around them. Sadly for us, these predators have studied our routines before they groom us. It involves building a relationship, breaking down boundaries, and creating opportunities for abuse. Grooming can happen in a person or online, and is often subtle to hard to detect. It's often subtle and hard to detect. We have predators that may target vulnerable children and manipulate families to gain access. So, first of all, when a predator comes to you, he doesn't just come and start attacking you, trying to abuse you. First of all, comes with a handshake, with a hug, and then he start touching unnecessary parts, and just be laughing about. Maybe you just making fun that, oh, look at your butts, they are big, or look at how clean you're beautiful. Did anybody tell you how beautiful you are? And stuff like that. So we need to teach our children that we need to make them aware about grooming, and we need to teach them about boundaries. They need to set boundaries. If uncle says you should hug him and you don't feel comfortable hugging him or her, tell her, okay, oh, auntie and uncle, please let's just have a handshake. Okay? Because we see parents when family members come around, they'll be like, go and hug your uncle, go and hug your auntie. Maybe the child is not comfortable with that. Don't really, really insist on that, because those are their boundaries they are setting. And building trust with child and family, isolating the child gradually, the child or the family. Maybe the aunt will be like, please just leave your child with me, I'll handle her. And sometimes they'll isolate the child gradually. They'll be like, I want to talk to this particular child first of all, personally. Let the other children wait outside. I always tell my son, if you're going out in a group and someone calls for you in that group and say, come up, do not leave your group, your friends in a group and go up to that person on your own. If the person doesn't want to talk to you in that group, then tell the person you are not available. It's very important. Then they always try to desensitize to like desensitize to inappropriate contact. Sometimes it will just be like, look at your hands. Your hands are very soft. From the hands is a peck. From a peck is something else. And sometimes they tell the child, can you keep secrets? Have your mother ever told you secret? Or trying to threaten the child. So these are how predators work. And they also have other ways which they work, because they know that we already know about all these sides of them, and they try now to use other ways. So let's just be very alert. And let's also try to educate our children about grooming. It's very important, because it's through grooming that abuse start occurring in our community. Before we move to the next, I want to ask if there's any questions so far. Please, are there any questions? Does anyone have any questions? Hello?
Hello.
Ma.
Can I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. I've really loved the session so far, and it's exciting for me to be part of this conversation. And I've loved the fact that you started with grooming, which is actually a major crisis right now. People first make children comfortable, then later on, they tend to use them. But I'm wondering, as you're preparing this child, because there are people who use grooming to hurt a child, but then there are people who are honestly good. So how do I help a child to differentiate between a good person and a person who comes with an intention? Thank you so much.
Okay. Please, I'm so sorry. My connection got cut off. Can you come again with your question so far, please?
Okay, can
Ma,
you
I
hear me
think
now?
we're going to have a
That
session for
sounds
question and
like an
answers for
interesting
now.
question.
Ma, we are going to have our session for questions. I think they should keep their questions while the session is afloat. We will create a room for question and answers, ma, immediately after your session. So all questions you can just jot down your questions while the speaker is on.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Okay. I think someone is. Okay, let's talk about recognizing the signs. What are the signs of I was abused when I was young and it's now I'm speaking up? And people will be like, why are you speaking up right now? What do you expect? Do you expect us to carry out justice? It's not really easy for children to speak up immediately or directly. Instead, they often communicate through changes in behavior. Maybe you see the lady or the man saying, I hated my mom. I feel like she was part of it. That's already a reflex because they are aware that every time they abuse, the adults around them were supposed to protect them. But they end up being in that state and they feel like there's nothing anyone can do. So they start changing their behavior, their mood, or physical well-being. So understanding these signs is essential for parents, caregivers, and educators to act early and protect children. If you notice a child was always like a child is
Please, Mr. Kingsley, can you mute your mic?
Ojeto, I think my network is really bad. I don't know if the next speaker could take over then before I come back. Stuff like
Okay.
that. But it
You're
keeps
actually
going
the
on
only
and
speaker.
off.
Sorry, you're the only speaker we have for this session. For this webinar session.
Okay.
You're the only speaker we have for this
Okay.
session. Sorry, ma. Sorry about
Please,
the network.
I hope my network will in out on and off. It's not
Please,
a
I will
problem.
encourage everybody to turn off their mic to support the speaker's network so we can hear her
I'm so
clearly.
sorry. Let me try to connect using another network because I really hate this feeling right now.
Sorry about that, ma. We are with you.
Now I'm back with a new network, so I hope this one is preferable. Is this one preferable now?
Okay, yes, it's preferable, ma. It's preferable. We can hear you clearly.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, we are
Okay.
hearing
So
you.
I was saying that how do we recognize the signs? How do we recognize signs? If you see a child changing their behavior, their mood physically, or if a child was always a playful type and the child tends to reserve, sometimes you see a child instead being over playful. Sometimes you can see the child changing the way they dress up. You understand? If a child always like exposes her skin, she doesn't care about whether men touches her or she doesn't care about anything around her. Know that something is off. Or if you see a child having a flirtish attitude around children or around elderly people, just know that something is off. Don't say that is the devil's work. There's something wrong behind that child's mood. I've had a case where uh, I have a friend. She walked up to me and she was talking to me about her cousin. She said this her cousin doesn't he flirts around people a lot until he even tries to get under her pants. And she's like, is he okay? She feels like it's a spiritual attack. So, due to my experience and everything, I told her I feel like this man, this a cousin, has been groomed or abused when he was young. Let me say his childhood was taken away from him. You understand? So she told me, no, 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 no. The guy is very brave. He's very he's very out. So I happened to get in contact with this her cousin, and then I spoke to him about grooming and everything. Then he opened up to me that it's like he had been abused by their neighbor when he was in Form 2. He was abused by an older lady when he was in Form 2. And since then, he can't really control himself when he sees women. You see that is another form, like another act of abuse. It's sometimes when you see a child acting a type of way, don't only focus on the spiritual side. I know, yes, we talk about life is spiritual and everything, but there's something behind it. Maybe the child needs a lot of advice, emotional reaction to all those useless they are. You see. So please, if you see a man being too flirtish, a woman being too flirtish, know there's something behind that act. Don't just take conclusions and say that this person needs spiritual help. Yes, they need our prayers, but there's something behind the act. So let's go to safeguarding strategies. What are the safeguarding strategies that we can implement? So creating safe environments, like I was saying, and empowering the children with knowledge are essential steps in prevention. Open communication, clear boundaries, and trusted reporting channels help protect children to ensure they feel safe to speak up. If you tell your child every time, I always ask my son, did this person touch you? If it means your uncle, even if it's whosoever, come and speak up to me, I will protect you. It might sound strange. It might sound strange, but it's very good to have open communication with your children. Don't be like, oh, they're still very young. No, someone who if you don't teach your children, there's this sentence that is always going around saying, if you don't teach them, someone else will teach them, and you might not like the approach. So it's better if the thing comes from you. It's better that you are the first person to create the awareness to child about sexual abuse, not another person, because it might be in a bad way. So how do we create this? We have to establish safe supervised spaces in home, schools, and communities. Always have the contact of their head teachers, always have the contact of their teachers at home or in school. Then teach the children about body, autonomy, and personal boundaries. If someone insists that you should hug the person, you don't want to hug the person. refuse, and the person keep insisting, you scream for help and encourage open dialogue so children feel safe to speak up. Because every time when if a child walks up to you and be like, mommy, can we talk? Yes, talk about what? That's how useless please. I know we have our issues going on in our lives, you understand, but it's very good to create a safe environment for your child to be able to walk up to you and speak up. Because as I said, if you're not teaching them something at home, someone else out there will teach them, and it will not be a good lesson for us, the parents. And by the time you want to realize, it's too late and you cannot do anything. The damage has been done. Ensure clear, accessible reporting procedures are in place. So it's good that you should have. There is this thing we used to call like your child and you and your child. You guys can have some secret codes which you guys can discuss. Let me say, if they're in public and you want your child to open up to you, if this person has been abusing you, can just ask some language. There's some languages that you can use. Sometimes you can even use your mother tongue to discuss with the child. If this place is safe, are you feeling safe here? And all of these children have gone for holidays and they have been through some environments that they're not in the same environments with your child. These things can even be taught by your child's classmates in class, telling them how this is. So also tell them that in class, they should be careful the kind of information they take in. So as I said, always educate your children at home, because if you're not doing that, someone else will be doing it for you. So how do the child respond? How do we respond? If a child discloses abuse, stay calm. Don't start shouting, Jesus, Jesus. Because I know we might get overreacted and we start shouting, or maybe we'll be like, why are you telling me now? After 5 years, listen without judgment. We always say this. I know it's more easy to say it than being done, because at that time you'll be like, what just happened to my child? But you have to be calm as possible. Reassure them that they have done the right thing by telling you. Don't judge them. Do not promise to keep secrets. Investigate yourself or confront the alleged abuser. Now, just confronting the alleged abuser, I advise you not to do it on your own. Gather all evidence, use your lawyer before you confront the alleged abuser, because yes, we are all in Africa and Africa is as corrupt as possible. So the person can even try to clear all evidence, and you might much evidence as you can for this case. Your role is to listen, believe, and report. But now the reporting stage is very, very critical, because you might report and cancel all evidence, or you might report and seek for justice. So you have to be your emotion. You have to keep your emotions under control. So who do you report to? You report to authorities immediately, or you contact child protection services. You provide reassurance and support. There are child protection services around your area. We have the social welfare. They deal with child protection services, or you go to the police station and you report immediately. But I will advise you to go to child protection services before going to the police station, because child protection services will guide you on what to do. But if you go directly to the police station, your case, you might not really explain it detailedly, like a child protection service will really direct you. So what are the resources and the support? You are not alone. A wide range of organizations and professionals are available to support survivors and families and caregivers. So these services provide confidential helplines. So you make sure that in the country you're living in, you should know the helplines. It's just good to keep them. Don't say that, what am I doing with these lines? What am I doing with these contacts? Just keep them, please. You also have trauma-informed counseling and guidance for reporting abuse and accessing care. It's very important for you to have some information in your notebook or in your phone, because it might not be from your family. We have national child abuse helplines and crisis hotlines. You can search them online and you get them. I do not want to put them in my presentation because there are times that these things update themselves. So it's always good to always go online and check the new updated hotlines that are out there. We also have trauma-informed counseling and therapy services. They are there online. You can check the most affordable one and get to it. So I wish to thank you all. I know that we have been interrupted a lot by network and everything, but I wish to say thank you. And if you suspect abuse, please report it immediately. Do not wait until it aggravates. Don't say I'm minding my business. So the last time AA reported her neighbor, she got into trouble. And contact local child protection services. And also, your action can save a child's life. Your action can save a child's life. We have organizations like a lot of organizations out there. Even thank you to this organization. So just always know that your actions can save a child's life, and that whatever you do, please be careful the way you put informations out there. I wish to thank Heal Up Africa for giving me this platform to really educate the community, and I'm very grateful. However, you can also reach out to us through our email, and you follow us on our social media platforms. We have our Instagram, we have our Facebook, and on LinkedIn too. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. It was really a very insightful session. And I hope everybody has learned from her well of knowledge. I have been able to learn so much from her well, from her well of knowledge. I've been able to learn so much, especially the aspect she talked about grooming. It's really a thing of concern. Thank you so very much. And by this time, we are going to give room for question and answer. So if you have any question, the speaker is here to answer all your questions. Please, you can bring them on. Well, the first question one of us asked was Zura Karongi asked was, how do we support a child to know the difference between the person grooming them and a genuinely nice person? I really love the grooming topic because many predators use it to lure children into sexual abuse. So how do I prepare a child not to be suspicious, or how do I prepare a child not to be suspicious of everyone around them? So that's the first question. Over to your speaker.
Please, can you come again with the question? You were really kind of fast with it. Please, can you come again with the question? Or is it in the
Sorry,
chat?
my mic is mute. How do we support a child to know the difference between a person grooming them and a genuinely nice person? I really love the grooming topic because many predators use it to lure children into sexual abuse. So how do I prepare a child not to be suspicious around them, or suspicious of everyone around them?
Okay, that's a very good question. So this is such an important point for children because grooming can look like kindness at first. We don't want to teach children that nice people are dangerous. That's not the best way. So we want to teach them that healthy kindness has boundaries. While grooming often involves secrecy, manipulation, and gradually crossing boundaries. Yes. A genuinely nice person and safe adult might be kind without expect. A kind person will be kind to the child without expecting anything in return. Respect when the person also expect respect. Respect when the child says no and stop. The genuinely kind person also allows the child to have other trusted adults and friends. Predators will always tell the children that don't make friends, don't make friends. Only let me be your only friend. Okay, let me be your only friend. And they also ask children not ask the child to keep secrets from their parents and caregivers. So a kind person will not tell the child that the child, that's what predators always say. Don't tell your mother, don't tell your father, don't tell your friends. A kind person, so you have to just tell the child that this, when anybody asks you to keep secrets, or the person tells you that don't be around people, or when I give you this thing, don't tell, or don't tell somebody. That's not a kind person, because a kind person will make the child understand that their parents are they are their parents. So if a kind person tells you not to tell your own parent, then that's not a kind person. Okay? That's not a kind person. Or a kind person will not be the type of person that would get into the child's room without even knocking. That's why we also need to teach our children to knock. A kind person will not tell the child, which pants are you wearing? That's not a kind person. So there are some questions that a kind person will not do. A kind person can just help without expecting anything in return. But when the person starts saying that, give me a hug now, when they give you something and they ask you for gift, no, if a child does, no, don't do that. Okay? That's not a kind person. Like if you give something to my child, yes, the child has to say thank you in return, but not telling the child to give you a hug. So that's not a kind person. So be comfortable with their interactions, being known by the child's caregiver. The person has to be comfortable with the interactions with the child. If someone always comes to you and complains about your child to you, please don't ever try to like condemn your child in front of that person. You are giving that person a card to access your child's life. I know it's very common with African parents when someone will come to you and be like, the way your child is behaving, she's very disrespectful. The other day she passed me without greeting. Just okay, I've heard. Thank you. Don't try to be like, oh, this child is like this. I'm tired of her and everything. Most of these children that claim are very stubborn at home, they easily get into the hands of predators. Why? Because they feel like their parents don't believe them. Who should believe them? The predator will come and be like, I believe you. So why should they not open up to the predator? So you have to understand your child. There are times that we have these children that go through puberty, they have their attitudes, but just create safe grounds to their children. Just create safe grounds to them. I think maybe I'm even going out of topic, but I'm just saying that a kind person will not tell your child to give something in return when they give the child something. It's always a predator that will do that. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, you have very well. Thank you very much.
Is there any other question?
Hello, I have a question.
Yes,
Can
hello,
I go on?
Elijah.
Hello. So, first of all, I'm Elijah Barasa from Kenya, and I want to appreciate the
Yes, Elijah,
presentation.
please speak up. I think there are some questions in the chat.
Yes, am I audible? My question, I just have one question, and it is that is there any initiative in place to create awareness among children about their rights, help them understand the difference between right and wrong, recognize unsafe or harmful situation, and know where to seek help when there is right when their rights are violated. Thank you.
Okay. Elijah, you started talking, then my connection went off. However, please can you write your question in the chat so that the moderator can read it? Moderator Chineye. She says, my question a family balance abuse from her parents. She says she finds comfort only outside her home. What advice do you have for such a child? Moderator, please, are you there? Moderator, please, are you around?
Okay, can you hear me, ma?
Yes. I saw a question, the second question from Chinenye. I hope Chinenye, you are still here because I'm seeing a lot of people leaving. She says that how can a girl child born into a family balance abuse from her parents? Okay. Chinenye, okay. I hope you guys can hear me, please.
We can hear you.
Mojeto, can you hear me? Okay. First, I will want to reassure that I want to assure that child that what is happening is not her fault and that she deserves to feel safe both inside and outside her home. Um, is the moderator here? Next question.
We can hear you, but I think your network is glitching.
Okay, please, what's the next question?
Okay, so this person says, how do we handle a situation where the parent or the caregiver is the perpetrator?
In a situation where the parent or the caregiver is the perpetrator.
Yes.
Okay. When I started the presentation, I said that sometimes out of 10 children that have been abused, we have 6 that are from abused by their close family members. So when a parent or the caregiver is the alleged perpetrator, we must remember that the person who should normally provide protection may actually be the source of harm. And in that situation, we should not tell the child to confront the parent, okay? So we should not send the child back to the same environment without a proper safety assessment. It has to be, we need to like walk. This is a very delicate issue. First of all, we should listen to the child calmly and take what they say seriously. Then we should avoid interrogating them or asking leading questions. No, we document the disclosure accurately and confidentially, and we should immediately involve the appropriate child protection authorities or safeguarding personnel according to the laws and procedures of that country. Don't take matters into your hand because you might be even causing more harm than good. Maybe the child wouldn't be going through a lot of trauma. So you trying to take matters into your hand, you are not a professional. And then we should also assess immediate danger Is the child currently safe? Does the alleged perpetrator have access to the child again? So is there another safe caregiver or protective adult available? If the child is in immediate danger, emergency protection measures is very necessary. Don't take the child back home and don't take the child, go back home. We are working on your case. No, 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 no. The child is going back to the same environment. So I believe the child should even stay with you for a moment. You understand? And then, most importantly, we don't make the child responsible for solving the situation. So we don't say, why didn't you tell us earlier? Or, but that's your mother or that's your father. We tell the child, I believe you. This is not your fault. And you did the right thing by telling someone. So my job is to keep you safe. And we have to be careful about confidentiality. We should not promise a child, I will not tell anybody, and the next minute the child is walking the neighborhood. Everyone is aware about what just happened to he or she. Instead, we explain that
I
we will
want to
only
say,
share information with people who need to know in order to help to keep the child safe. Never be treated as automatically safe simply because it is a family. But avoid teaching children that parents are inherently dangerous. No. Trust should be based on behavior, safety, and respect, not simply as on someone's title or as a parent, relative, or a caregiver. So I will not advise someone to be like, trust this person, that your family. No. We all know that the highest danger comes from the family, but it doesn't mean you should tell the child that, oh, you are not based on relationships, on the title that we give to people. So I hope that question is answered.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, there's another question. This is from Mr. Elijah. He said, is there any initiative in place to create awareness among children about their rights, help them understand the difference between right and wrong, recognize unsafe or harmful situations, and know where to seek help when their rights are violated? Did you get the question, ma?
Yes, very important question. Of course, there are initiatives to create awareness among children about their rights. As I said from the beginning, child, to tell them about their have to set boundaries. They have every right to say no if they are not comfortable. I do something and he's not comfortable. It is boundaries. And I'm very, very happy for that because it makes me to believe he can say no to some things if he doesn't want to do those things. I don't know if my network is stable.
If you can repeat your response, that will help. The network was actually glitching.
Yes. Okay, I'm so sorry. country is working towards that, working towards that. You understand? I, Mr. Elijah, getting to your question, there are also initiatives helping children to create awareness among children about their rights. However, we see organizations like UNICEF, they work together with the government, institutions, partners, supports, and they support child protection programs that focus on preventing violence and abuse. But I would like to start from home. You see, when we talk about children, children come from, each child is from a family. And I will advise that if you are you're a father or you're a mother or an aunt or uncle or a teacher, create that safe environment for a child to come up and speak up to you. How would they know that they are speaking up to you? Is by them knowing their rights. And how would they know their rights? By us teaching them. As I said from the beginning, if you do not tell these children what to do, another person out there will be feeding them with truth or lies we don't know. So it's very important for you to tell the child their rights. A child has to set boundaries to themselves. I love children that say no when they are not comfortable. Not that they will do it and be like, and they will tell you later on that I did it just because I wanted to make you happy. Never tell a child to do something to make anybody happy. They should do it because they are comfortable doing it. Because you see a child, we've had cases where a child will accept to be sexually abused just because the mother proved the child that the child is worthless, and the child believes that doing that will make the child have more value. So please, let's teach our children our rights. Teaching them their rights is very important. Tell them you have every right to say no. You have every right to say, I don't want to greet you. I don't want to. Let's stop sitting and be like, this child is very disrespectful. Why do you see this person that you do not greet? If you feel comfortable greeting the person, that's fine. However, it's polite enough to greet someone, but you can say hello, good morning, uncle. The child says, no, I don't feel comfortable hugging you. Do not insist and be like, come on, go and hug your auntie, go and hug your uncle. Don't do that. Because you're already telling the child how to overstep their boundaries, and they will overstep it in many different ways. That's just the big. So that's what I will say. That you as the guardian to educate your child about their rights. So I hope I've answered your question.
I believe you did justice to it. Thank you so much. So there's another question from someone from India. The person says, how can we support a child who believes the person grooming them is good and has become emotionally attached to or accustomed to their presence? Should I repeat the question?
This is
Okay.
no. This I stay silent because this is one of the saddest things. This is one of the saddest things because a child that has been trapped, a child that has been trapped by its predator is sad. You no matter what you tell that child, sometimes the child might feel like you are inside the enemy. In this case, there's a lot that needs to be done. As I said, you need professional help because you are as a person, you might be talking using your own emotions. You might be talking to the child using your own emotions, or you might be trying to talk to the child out of this grooming, and it might instead be like you're being hard on that child. So I advise you seek professional help. You talk about this uh to the social welfare and ask them if they can help in this situation. I will never advise a parent to face it on their own. However, when a child is emotionally attached to that person, we have to be very careful not to attack the person or confront the child, to attack the person in front of the child, sorry. Because you are instead making the child to hate you more. So the child may genuinely believe that this person loves them and understands them, or is the only person who ever cares about them. And you also have to try to change your approach towards the child, because if this child is going to this person, it might be like maybe you have not created that ground, that safety around the child. So rather than saying that that person is a bad person, focus on the behavior and the child's safety, on your own behavior. How were you behaving towards this child? You can ask questions to yourself, such as, how do I feel when they do that? Do they respect your boundaries? Have they ever asked you to keep secrets? What happens when you say no? So we help children understand that someone can be kind to you and still behave in an unsafe or inappropriate way. I will also advise that you don't need to start blaming the child for becoming too attached or blaming yourself. But the best thing is that grooming is designed to build trust and emotional dependence. So attachment is actually part of how grooming works. The responsibility lies entirely with the adult or predator. So don't blame the child. Try to see how you can take that predator away from your child and build that trust between you and your child. So our role here as parents, caregivers, and relatives towards the child is to gradually help the child recognize the manipulation, strengthen their support network, and create a safe environment. So you cannot try to start blaming the child. Instead, you try to help the child to recognize manipulation. This is manipulation, this is love, this is support. And we should never shame them for caring about or loving the person who harmed them. Anyone can be groomed, as we said. That's why we always need to be educated about these things. We don't have to convince the child that the groomer is evil before we protect the child. But we protect the child first and then help them understand what happened. I hope this is clear. I hope the question has been understood. I've answered the question.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma.
Moderator, I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, I believe the person has
You're
a
welcome.
better understanding now. Okay, there's another question here. The person says there is a situation where a child habituates with grooming or abuse and thinks that is the best thing she has in her life, and she cannot testify it during seeking justice. What can we do? So I think it has a connection with the previous question too. When the victim is being attached to the abuser. But you can share more light on it, man.
Okay, before then, we'll be having just two more questions to round up this particular session of question and answers, please. So after this question, one more question, I'll be done with this session. Thank you.
Okay, ma.
Okay, thank you. Okay, to be clear with the question, you said there's a situation where a child habituates with grooming or abuse and thinks that it's the best thing she has in her life, and cannot testify to. Like, as I said before, it almost relates to the first question. When we should avoid blaming that child or becoming attached, because grooming is designed to build trust, as I said. So our role is to gradually help that child to recognize the manipulation, strengthen their support network environment where they can just without feeling judged. How is this manipulation? For example, you can tell the child that you can use your personal story and talk to the child. Okay, I had this uncle too. the uncle gave me some biscuits and the uncle never asked me to hug them or follow them to their house or come to visit them at night. So why would this person do this to you? Don't you think you're being manipulated? Talk to the child by saying that this person means more harm than good. This is manipulation, and you might end up regretting it. Or you might tell the child that this thing happens to a lot of you. You are not the only person. You're not the only person that this person is grooming. So the child should make sure they safe environment. This man might kill you. This woman might kill you. So scared, but try to make them understand you are there for them and that you mean well for them. So you should also change your approach towards them. Thank you. I hope I've answered the question because it's almost related to the first question.
Thank you for that response. Thank you so
Moderator,
much.
I hope okay.
Thank you. We still have, I don't know. I was logged out, so I don't know if there's another question before the one I'm saying from Lakshmi, India. Is there any other question before her assistant moderator?
No, the next question we can take is the one from someone from Botswana. Sorry, I couldn't pronounce your name. So the question is, what is your take on creating safer digital spaces for kids, as grooming can also happen online? What would be the proper approach in preventing it?
Okay, that's a very good question because prevention is better than cure. What I would say is that you have to educate your child as early as possible about grooming or about abuse. As I said, my son is 9 years old, and I've already started educating him about trust, about these things. Don't say that it's too early. It's not too early to educate your child. In fact, I would advise you that from 5 years old or even from 3 years old, you start educating your child about some kind of things because awareness is very, very important. So you can entrust the child with a lot of things, but you also have to educate them. However, there's no child that, no matter how you educate a child, there's no child that is perfect in really knowing these signs. Because even we as adults sometimes we realize ourselves we inside those situations before we try to get out of it. It's very common. So the best thing you do is that try to put, especially online, try to protect the child from apps that might lead the child into those kind of environments. Because even as much as you are trying to educate this child about some things out there, the child is still a child. So you as the parent, it's your responsibility to make sure that you follow up. What is this child doing online? Is this child into apps that are not allowed? Or is this child doing things that are not allowed online? However, I will also advise parents or guardians that when your child is, do not be the one to expose your child out there into the hands of these predators. What do I mean? Sometimes you tell the child to be kind. I've seen situations where parents will tell the child to be kind to strangers. Yes, it's good to be kind to people, but kind to strangers just because they want to extort money from them. You see parents using their children online to extort money. Please support us. So, my child is this. It's tough. You are using the child to extort money. There are other ways you can do that. Why am I saying this? You have made the child to understand that the child can use their mouth or do some things to get money. Money, I don't know if I'm making the points here, but I will never advise you as a parent or a guardian to put your child in front of the screen and you're asking for money. Because that child tomorrow, before she even becomes an adult, she'll stand in front of the screen and she'll be asking for money and she can do anything to get the money because has been used by her parent to be getting money. So there are things that you should be doing, but it's not necessary. You have to protect the child from online predators, and there are little acts that we do that will gradually lead them to it without knowing. I hope the question is answered. Moderator.
Yes, the question is being answered. Thank you so much. We'll take the next agenda before we come back to more questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So before we end this session, there are 5 key there are key messages that I would like to pass on. I first of all want to thank everyone for making out time to come and grab a little bit of my knowledge. And the messages I would like to pass out is that, first of all, please don't wait. As we come to these sessions and we learn, we should not only just sit and keep ourselves, but also try to educate people around us. And the thing I will also say is that I know in an African community back then we used to say it takes a village to raise a child, but now it's no longer a village. It takes an individual to raise a child, because people will try to educate you. Our day is becoming very unsafe, but we are the ones to create the difference. We are the ones to make the difference, and that is why I say that as we leave this session, we should try to educate children around us too. Don't just sit with this information on your own and be like, okay, I've learned it for myself and my children. Try to educate children around you. If you see a child acting strange, tell the child you're safe to speak to me. You understand? And another thing I will say is that try to collaborate with organizations that work to help children. Try to collaborate when you see these organizations online, try to work with them. Try to see how you can assist them, because an organization cannot work on it online. Try to repost our posts so it can reach far and the information can reach to other people. Try to share our work out there, because it takes a lot of good work. It takes a lot of effort for us to do these things. No, we don't get paid for it. We do it out of love. So when you see our work out there, try to support us in any way you can. Just sharing our post or following our pages or anything that you can. It helps us, it motivates us to keep doing the good work that we do. So that is something that I would like to share, and I would like to thank everyone who has joined us in this session. I'm very grateful, and I hope all in another session in the future. Thank you so much. Moderator, I think it's over to you. Or assistant moderator. Thank you. I noticed a lot of people have been asking for the slides. I will send it to the organization that invited me here, and then they will see how they can share it. I think maybe you have a group or something. So I'm going to share the slides. I cannot share it in the chat, but I'm going to share it. However, please, Miss Stella.
Okay. Yeah, our moderator is having some network issues. So I wanted to ask if you can take more questions while we wait.
Yes, I can actually take more questions.
Okay. So this person says, I think we also need to, okay, this is more like a comment, but there's a question, okay. Okay, this person said, as a school social worker, I would like to add that online grooming and social abuse requires us to look beyond the obvious signs. Okay, this is a comment. Okay, this person said, so is it okay when enlightening the child to enlighten the implication or impact of the action of the groomer to him or her?
Let me see. Please, can you, is it okay
Okay,
to?
yeah, is it okay when enlightening the child to enlighten the implications or impact of the action of the groomer to him or her?
Yes, it's very okay. It's very okay to educate the child about these things. However, we should be realistic about it. Don't tell the child that, don't tell that somebody touch your pee, or if someone touches you inappropriately, go direct, tell the person. If someone use the words, please use it. Direct words. Don't say if someone touches your private part. If someone touches your penis, if it's a man, boy, say if someone touches your penis inappropriately. Don't allow the person to shout for help. Or if someone touches your vagina inappropriately, someone asks if you are enjoying it, speak to the child, begin to use playful words. Use those words directly and educate the child is very important. Don't be like, oh, is the child is too young to understand. No. If you think the child is too young, someone out there will think the child is too old. So be the one to educate your child about things like that. My answer is okay.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is, what is the role of the child's self-esteem in child abuse? Did you
What is the role of the child's self-esteem in child abuse? It plays a lot. It plays a lot because if the child is aware that he or she can speak up, that's a very big, that's a very important, that's a very important role. You know, if a child is not properly touched, even without being abused sexually, and the child has that courage to come and speak up, that's very, very important. We have children who have turned into adult mothers before they speak up. So it's good to build that child's self-esteem. It's good to up that child's self-esteem when it comes to cases like that. Tell the child that you can fight, speak, say it's no, And if something like this happen, come walk up to me and speak to me. I'm here to protect you. So that child's self-esteem, as much as possible, be able to share self-esteem. And it's very important because there are many ways to bring out down our child's self-esteem. One, we almost insult our children at home. We yell at them when every time they want to speak up to us, we like tell them how, like, just we know what I mean. So those things bring down the child's self-esteem. However, there's another way around. By doing the opposite, you can bring up that child's self-esteem so that you can even discuss some things with the child that the child will be like, hey, mommy, did you know that this person told me that she will buy me these sweets if I come and uh, so I hope I've answered the question before I got disconnected.
Yes. There's one more question. Okay, it says, how do we support and build a child who have been abused to be a better person? How do we support and build a child who has been abused to become a better person?
In this case, the child will need professional help. And also, we also need to create a safe environment around the child. We should not judge the child. We should not keep asking the child what happened. How you just need to try your best to create a safe environment where why trying to seek professional help is very important. There are professionals that have been trained for that. Don't take the child to a pastor. Yes, a pastor can pray for the child, but are meant for that. So you seek professional help. As I said, always have those hotlines around area from child welfare. Don't take the child to the police. That's not where you seek professional help. There are professionals out there, counselors can help the child. So I would advise you to professional help. I hope I've answered that question.
Yes, I believe so. The person that asked this question must have gotten better. Yes, I believe the person has gotten
Okay.
a better
And
clarity on the question.
Okay.
Yes, I would really like for you to look into this. Is a comment someone dropped, not necessarily a question. The person said, I think we also need to try and educate parents on mindset change regarding safeguarding children. Most of us parents are enablers of abuse instead of being protectors.
Yeah. And that's why we are all here to attend this, so that we can go and educate our own parents at home. Because, it's not a one-day thing to educate a parent about this. A lot of parents to us, and we can't really blame them, as I said. But you can gradually teach them, you can gradually educate them from what you have learned from this session.
Yes. So this
Because
person
the
also...
truth is that
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to inform you all that the slides are in the chat, so such so
Okay.
and that's it. So whatever you learn in this session, you can just educate one or two people around you.
Okay. Thank you so much. So the last comment that I would like to read and equally hear your opinion is this person said, I would like to add that online grooming and sexual abuse requires us to look beyond the obvious signs. Children may be groomed through social media, gaming platforms, messaging apps, or even by someone they already know and trust. In schools, we need to create an environment where children feel safe to disclose without fear of judgment or punishment. Safeguarding should therefore not only focus on teaching children about online dangers, but also on equipping parents, teachers, and professionals to recognize subtle changes in behavior and respond appropriately. Our responsibility is not only to protect children from harm, but to create spaces where they know that when something happens, there is a safe adult who will believe them and take action. But I have a question myself, and my question is, how do
Yes.
how do we differentiate when a child makes up a story about being abused, whereas the child is not being abused? Let's say, for example, a young boy or a young girl claim that, oh, an adult touched them inappropriately, probably because the adult um maybe refused to do something for them and they had to make up such stories. How do we filter such informations to actually know the ones that are real and the ones that just make up stories?
That's a very good question. I never saw this coming because we have had a lot of situations like that where the child would sit and imagine these things just to seek attention from the crowd and bring up such stories. Or maybe they want to just like do these things so that they might get some money out of it. We have a lot of situations like that. What I would say is that there has to be proper investigation to done. Actually, when a child walks up to us and say, "We have been abused, this young person touched me," we don't just, yes, you believe the person. It's good to just believe the person, but it doesn't mean that you you take actions into your hand. There has to be an investigation done. Investigations are being done. And that is why we involve the social welfare and the social relations will be taken into place. A lot of things will be taken into place. The person will be interrogated that differently from the child. A lot of things will be taken into place before the evidence is before things are being put in place and said, okay, this story is true. So we don't just when the child, it's good to believe the child at first, but actions are being taken later on. That's why it's good to confide into special authorities. You don't just confide to neighbors because you confide to special authorities. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, you actually did. Thank you so much. Our host is having a network connection, so we'll have to end today's
So,
session.
and
Then tomorrow, we hope we'll have a better connection. Thank you so much, ma'am, for having us and sharing your knowledge with us. Is really impactful, and I believe that every participant that joined actually gained something, and it's now our collective responsibility to go back and help as much as we can to keep our children safe. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining, irrespective of the network issues. We appreciate. Thank you so much.
thank you too. Thank you.
Okay, so see everyone tomorrow. same time, hopefully we'll have a better network to connect and share more ideas. Bye for now.